Welcome to another video. This is Wild Unfiltered. Why the name? Because Wild is my name, and Unfiltered because this is a safe space for all of us to talk about anything and everything that we want to. So welcome. So today's video is a really exciting one. I've been tagged by the absolutely beautiful and wonderful Meredith from Living Luxury Meredith. This tag video it's like a Q&A, and I think she's called it Inside the YouTube Studio. So it's based on the Inside the Actors Studio, which I'm sure everybody's familiar with. And yeah, it's just a set of questions that have been set. These have been set by Meredith, and she's kindly sent some of them to me in readiness for me to have a go at answering some of these. I thought this could be a really interesting tag video to do because I haven't done a Q&A, and for me, I'm so new to YouTube that I really have a handful of followers, and those ones of you that are following me and take the time to watch, take the time to comment, take the time to like any of my videos, I wholeheartedly thank you. This started out as a real hobby for me, a bit of a creative outlet, reaching out to find a community of like-minded people, and it's turned into something that I'm just really excited about, and I do want to grow my channel, and I do want to see where this goes to. So yeah, each and every one of you that has watched any of my videos, I just thank you so much. And to those who may be watching this, I welcome you to my videos. So yeah, the first question is the designers that made the greatest impact on your fashion choices and purchases. Sorry, I'm referring to the trusty old Mulberry planner because I can't remember all the questions otherwise. So yeah, the designers that have, I suppose, shaped my fashion choices and purchases. Now, I'm looking at this from the angle of both ready to wear and bags. So the first one I have to mention is Louis Vuitton. And this is probably going to be everybody's first mention, or most of us, particularly of a certain age, I think. 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago, all I wanted was a Louis Vuitton handbag. And I've told the story in other videos where my dream bag was an Alma, and I finally got that Alma. There's a story behind that. So if you want to watch any of my other videos and find out that story, then please do so. But I just loved everything Louis Vuitton. I wanted every bag in the store, and if I could ever get to the point where I could afford a Louis Vuitton bag, then that was the one. So yeah, that's the first one that comes to mind. Dior's always been a special favourite of mine. Hermes, for me, it's not just the pinnacle because of how hard they are to get or how expensive they are. Once you have actually got one of those bags in your hand, you see the craftsmanship, the quality, just the story behind Hermes. So for me, Hermes has only been a positive experience, and I hope it continues to be so. With regard to ready to wear, I love Balmain. Not everything in Balmain, but I love, again, the quality, the tailoring, the craftsmanship. Victoria Beckham, I love her designs. They're simple, they're elegant, and I think the tailoring and the quality is beautiful. So the next question is, what turns you on creatively? When a designer has thought about how that piece of clothing would flatter somebody's body shape. So when somebody's thought about somebody who has curves and hips, so I really appreciate that when somebody actually thinks of something that will flatter all body shapes. So I like beautiful knitwear, just the feel of the beautiful fabric. So I suppose for me it's like looking for quality in respect of the fit and the cut and the material, the quality of the fabric. So yeah, it's again, that beautiful tailoring, that elegance that you can make somebody feel $1 million or £1 million, should we say pounds as we're in the UK, but you can make somebody feel so good in a piece of clothing compared to another piece of clothing that makes you feel like having a meltdown. So I really appreciate when somebody shows their individuality. So again, in the creative space, whether it's somebody creating content that's individual and innovative and new and something fresh, something nobody's thought about, I find that really exciting. And yeah, just somebody being individual in the way they dress and the way they want to present themselves. I think it's fantastic. I love the fact, and I've said this in loads of videos, I love the fact that we are all different and we all have completely different tastes and gravitate to different things. The next question is, what turns you off creatively? So again, I'm going to answer that in the creative space, and also as in ready to wear, as in the types of styles, designs that I don't gravitate to. So yeah, in the design space, as in the design of ready to wear, I don't gravitate to things that are very revealing. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel nice. It can ruin my evening if I try and be overly revealing. It just isn't me, and I think that's fine and that's great. And if you guys love to reveal flesh and have your legs out and your boobs out, and I think that's wonderful. It's just not how I would dress because I don't feel comfortable. So that definitely, yeah, I don't gravitate to that. I'm in the design, in the creative space. So for example, in the YouTube creator world, I don't like overconsumption. I'm not preaching to anybody about how much somebody should or shouldn't buy. I buy a lot of things and I spend a lot of money. I'm not going to pretend I don't, but I try to be very savvy, and in the things I buy, I try to think it through, and I don't buy hundreds and hundreds of things. I try to buy good quality things that I will wear to death, and that's what I tend to do. So when somebody's the opposite of that, of just buying, but never using, unless you're a collector, that's completely different. That's not what I'm saying. But the overconsumption, when you see tons of shopping hauls, of clothing hauls from particularly like fast fashion, it just turns me off a little bit. I just think you can't possibly wear all those, and yeah, what's going to happen to them? It's just, particularly when it's overconsumption for the sake of creating content, I don't really like that. Who or what inspires you in everyday life? Yeah, this is I could talk about this in a whole video, so I'll try and keep these shorter, but the things that inspire me in everyday life are when people are inclusive and welcoming. I've felt a lot of judgment in my life, and whether some of that is perceived by me and wasn't judgment, or whether it was actually judgment, I have felt that. And since I started my YouTube, I have found so many friends, and I call you all friends because I feel it. People have reached out to me, people across the other side of the world, you know who you all are, over in Australia, and in America. And yeah, it's just crazy how we're all looking for an outlet, aren't we? We're all looking for a space to feel welcome and feel included and feel who we are. And yeah, I've also been searching for that for a lot of time, and that's why I've been watching a lot of these videos, because I've been needing to find an outlet, and I finally got the I suppose I finally found some courage from somewhere to start this channel, and all I can find is welcoming wonderful people. So thank you to you all, whether it's watching, commenting, messaging, just being welcoming. So that inspires me every day, and it just shows us some beautiful, just genuine, kind, thoughtful, generous, welcoming people in the world. So that inspires me. It inspires me when people take the time to consider where you're coming from on something. Yeah, the people who inspire me every day, well, I have to say my family. I've talked about Andrew, my husband. in quite a few videos, and he was in a couple of videos, and yeah, he was a little bit of a superstar, bless him. I'm going to try and persuade him to be in a little bit more, but I don't think he's up for it at the moment. But he is, yeah, I'm not going to be gushing because it's boring to everybody else, isn't it? But yeah, he's wonderful, and yeah, he looks after us as a family. He looks after me. He has our well-being and happiness at the forefront of everything he does. He works incredibly hard and has done, as we both have done, but he has worked incredibly hard and supported me so much over the years, and he's the most wonderful father. He really, really is. So enough gushing. He's amazing. And when I decided to step back from my role, which was working with him, he couldn't have been more wonderful and stood at my side and supported me. So anyway, enough gushing. And my 2 daughters inspire me every day. They are incredible human beings, and yeah, I just love them with everything I have. So enough gushing about all that. My friends who accept me for who I am with all my quirks, even my friends who don't understand why I like luxury, why I would spend so much money on a handbag, they love me for who I am, and they accept that, and I love you for that. So again, there's no point saying names because you guys won't know any of the names, but if any of my friends do watch this, which I don't think they will because this isn't their thing, and that's fine, but you all know who you are, my lovely senoritas. And also, I just have to have a massive shout out to my PT, Lindsay. Again, I've done videos based on my fitness journey, and again, no gushing because we don't need that on this, but she's incredible. She's just incredible, supportive, guiding me, helping me believe in myself. So yeah, enough gushing. Okay, next question. The attributes that attract you. So the attributes that attract me. Kindness, these are the ones I've written down. Kindness, empathy, loyalty, understanding and patience. So I think they all go hand in hand, don't they? I just think again, I've mentioned this, the things that inspire me, the things, so I won't go on too much about these, but just somebody who, yeah, can have empathy with the world around you and what other people might be thinking or where they're coming from, and yeah, just being kind and patient, and yeah, just slowing down a little bit and just breathe and just live. The attributes that turn me off, again, the things, it's sort of the opposite of those things. So when somebody's really negative and overly negative, and it goes hand in hand with that victim mentality of the world is against somebody, or it's all, why do bad things always happen to me, or yeah, I'm a really big believer in putting out into the universe, you know, some positivity, and you know, control the things you can control and try not to worry about the things you can't control. And we all have struggled with this, and I struggle with this massively. But since I've started to really turn a corner with all of that, I can't abide negativity and unnecessary negativity. Bad things happen all the time to lots of people, and that worries me mentality of it always happens to me and it's all right for you, because I just, yeah, I find it was a massive turn off for me. I also don't like conflict and rudeness. There's never for me any need to be rude. I just don't understand that mentality. You can be kind, you can deal with things with grace, you can walk away from something, you can distance yourself from things. You don't need to be rude. There's never a reason that I can think of anyway. And conflict, I hate conflict. I hate having to deal with certain things, and yeah, in business I've had to deal with a lot of conflict, and in the workspace I seem to be able to do it a lot better than I could in my personal life, my life out of work. So if something needs dealing with, I will deal with it. And Meredith said this in hers. Sometimes you come across as not being very well liked at work because you have to deal with certain things. And a lot of staff members or clients or whoever don't always understand why you've had to do certain things because they're not in that position. They don't know what you know, for example. So sometimes it comes across as you very that I can be very harsh or very I don't know what word somebody else might use, but yeah. But for me, I don't like the attributes where somebody overly courts conflict. Sometimes you have to deal with things, and if I have to, I will stand my corner, as Meredith said in hers. If somebody's hurting my family, my friends, my staff, you know, I will not be backed into a corner, and I won't be walked on. And I can be quite tough, but I don't like somebody or the attribute of somebody creating conflict in an unnecessary way and in a rude and nasty way. I just don't like that. Okay, so the adjectives to describe me. So these are the ones that I wrote down for me, and then I did ask a couple of friends and family just to throw me some adjectives that they would describe me, just to add to this, a little twist to it. So mine are resilient, empathic, problem solver, loyal, protective. So yeah, I know I'm a real fixer. So I try to solve problems before they even happen. If I have a problem, I have to solve it as quickly as possible. Otherwise it stays on my mind until I can fix it. So they're the things that the good attributes in some ways, and they create a lot of trouble in other ways because it's hard for me to let things go. I worry about everybody around me. I try to fix everything for everybody. I want everybody to be happy, and I know that's not the real world, but I will do my damnedest to make that happen for my family if I can. So my girls know I am always there for them, always, and I will help fix anything and everything that might be going on in their world should they want my help. The same with my husband, the same in business. So yeah, and what comes with that comes resilience. I can be extremely sensitive, but I also am resilient and have got through a lot and gone through a lot in my life, and I'm still here and I'm still standing and I'm still thriving. So yeah, resilient. I'm very extremely loyal in every single way. Workplace, family, relationships, friendships, everything. I'm there for you. And then some of the things that my friends and family, some of the adjectives that they suggested for me were caring and thoughtful, and yeah, one of my friends said stylish. Thank you, Fee. What else did they say? They said generous and determined. And then some other ones were loving, caring, determined came up a few times, motivated, sensitive, driven. And my daughter said Fruit Loopy. She's not wrong. So there's a couple of sort of contradictory things in there, which is actually true of me. I can be extremely caring, loving, loyal, sensitive, and I can also be very driven and very determined and very motivated, and once I get hold of something, I'm seeing it through. So yeah. Right, the next two I found really hard. The favourite word and least favourite word. So the first favourite word that came into my head was discombobulated. Maybe this is where the Fruit Loopiness comes from. I just think it's a funny word. Least favourite word. Yeah, there's words that I don't like to use, certain swear words, so let's not say those. there's a word that I cannot say for the life in me. So it's one of my least favourites because I can't say it, and it's peripheral. I'll put the word on here. And I've had to use it a lot recently with my glasses and getting to do with my peripheral vision. And I was a nightmare in the opticians trying to describe what on earth I was talking about. So that come to mind. But also it's more of a phrase that comes to mind rather than my least favourite word. And it's when somebody says it's all right for you because. Yeah, it's when somebody says it's all right for you because. Anyway, let's not go there. Okay, next question. The sound or noise you love. There's a couple of things that came to mind with this, and they're all to do with my daughters. So that absolute belly laugh that you have, me and my eldest daughter have the exact same sense of humour, where my youngest daughter rolls her eyes at us and just thinks, what on earth? We love Only Fools and Horses, and we just fall around laughing. Those proper big belly laughs, where sometimes it's a bit of an inside joke as well and nobody else understands and we think something's absolutely hilarious. So just the sound of her laugh is just unbelievable. And with my youngest daughter, she's just so intuitive and wonderful, and she just comes and puts her head on my shoulder, or she'll just tap me, or might tap my head because she's tall, I'm very short, and she will just say, you know, how are you doing, Mum? Or, you know, how are you holding up? She's so grown up for such a young girl, and just her words of comfort. And also she does this thing where we all buy these little iced coffees from the supermarket. So they're like the Starbucks iced lattes. And she opens the fridge and she does this little shake. And it's something really silly, and it just always makes me smile. Silly. Just silly. Okay, the sound I hate. If anybody that knows me and knows me well, I cannot abide tapping, clicking, humming. Yeah, just when somebody's clicking a pen top or tapping their fingers or just aimlessly humming. There's something about it. I just cannot click when somebody clicks their fingers and tries to crack their knuckles, and it goes through me. So yeah, no tapping, no clicking, no humming. Can't do with it. Okay, a profession that I would like to try. Well, my profession, I don't think I've ever said this on YouTube before, but I am an accountant, and I've just stepped back from my role after about 30 years. In fact, it is exactly 30 years. And anyway, whole other video, which I may or may not do at some point in the future. So I suppose a profession I'd like to try would be completely different to that. And it would have to be something in fitness. It just would. I absolutely adore strength training, personal training with Lindsay. I just absolutely love it. I love being in the gym. I love learning about different programs, different exercises, why I'm doing certain things. I need to understand why. And that's the same with YouTube. Everything I do, I like to research and understand it. I don't just do. I don't just flippantly do and surface. You know, when somebody just does things on the surface, that's not me. My heart and soul goes into everything. So it would have to be something in fitness. It just would. I don't know. I don't think I could ever be a personal trainer. But who knows? I just love being around all of that. A profession that I wouldn't like, and I think I'm the same as Meredith in this. I don't think I could be a doctor or a nurse or a carer, particularly a carer, like you know, maybe in an old people's home, or yeah, I just don't think I could be a carer. I think you're a special type of person who can devote their life to it. I just think it's so upsetting to deal with anybody who's ill or struggling in any way, mentally or physically. I think it must be very hard to detach yourself from that, and I just don't think I could. I think okay, 5 people dead or alive that I'd like to go to dinner with. Well, yeah, my absolute number one, if anybody knows me, shout out now who number one is. Of course it's George Michael. I adore George Michael. He got me through my childhood. He got me through some really difficult times. I've adored him my entire, well, not my entire life, but times. There's certain songs for me mean so much, and they're just, you feel it in your core. And yeah, I'm getting goosebumps even talking about him. It was, how do you feel so upset when somebody dies when you've never met them? And I don't know the answer to it. I just feel it. He was very, very, very important to me and still is. And yeah, so he's number one. Just to be in the presence of him would be unbelievable. I sort of feel the same about my second and third ones, which are Elvis and Madonna. Madonna, again, back in the day, was incredible, innovative. I loved her. I absolutely adored her. So for me, growing up in the 80s, George Michael and Madonna, that was it. I love them, and I was very lucky to see both of them in concert, and that's something I'll always treasure, my memories of that. And yeah, I would love to meet Madonna and say, just to talk to her and just reminisce about the early to mid 80s and how crazy her life must have been, and where her creativity came from. And I would love to pick her brain, but also I'd want to know why she is how she is now, and yeah, just how she feels about life now. She's never stopped. She's never allowed herself to grow gracefully, and that's another video that I've done, and nor should she. What she wears, what she does is not my taste at all anymore. It was back in the day, and I loved her creativity. Now sometimes it's like, what on earth is she wearing? However, my video will tell you, you can do what you like, and she can do what she likes, and I love that about her. So yeah, I would just love to pick her brain. Elvis, just brings back a lot. It triggers a lot for me with my family. My dad absolutely loves Elvis. So yeah, I would just want to pick his brain and just be in his presence. I think he was a most beautiful man. But also, yeah, what happened through all those years, just interesting life. Yeah, and my next one is Hugh Jackman. My daughter absolutely adores Hugh Jackman, and so do I. I just think he seems a really, really nice person. And yeah, I went to see, in fact, me and my whole family went to see him in concert in Manchester a few years ago. He did a one-man tour, and he was singing, and he did a lot of the songs from the musicals, but he was so funny. And it was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. I thought it might be good because I knew I'd like Les Mis and Greatest Showman. But other than that, I wasn't really sure what the show was going to be. And he talked to the audience a lot, and he was extremely funny and very charismatic. And yeah, he just seems a really nice man. So I'd love to meet him and have dinner with him. And then my last one is a guy called David Goggins. Now, I don't know if anybody has heard of him, but yeah, he had a massive impact on my life with his book called Can't Hurt Me. He was a Navy SEAL. I won't go into massive detail, but yeah, he made a massive difference to me at a time where I was very, very down in life. And his book really, really helped me. I just read it or listened to it at the exact right time for me. So I owe him an honour of debt, honestly. So yeah, David Goggins. 2 celebrity hall passes. easy. Brad Pitt, Daniel Craig, enough said. 3 celebrities that you'd like to go to the pub with. Well, I found this quite hard because I'm not a drinker really, but I think this one is more somebody, not necessarily. Dinner for me would be picking their brain, chatting, finding out who they are. The pub one would be who you're going to go and have fun with, who would be fun getting drunk with. So yeah, I put Ant Middleton. So I'm sure you all know who Ant Middleton is, but I first discovered him on SAS Who Dares Wins, and I think he's doing the Australian one now, so I'm sure you guys in Australia will know him. But I went to see him in, he did a show which was like a motivational tour, and he was incredible. He really was, and I think it'd be really good fun. And he takes no prisoners, does he? I mean, he really doesn't. And I've loved his books. Yeah, I'd love to go to the pub with him. And then Chris Evans. Now this is Chris Evans, who's the radio presenter and TV presenter in the UK, because I think there's a Chris Evans who's the actor. So I don't know if you guys in Australia and America know Chris Evans, but yeah, he's been on our radio and TVs for years, and yeah, I could just imagine it'd be really, really good fun. And he goes to the pub a lot, and I'd like to go to the pub with him. And then the last one, I think the third one was really difficult, so I just chose Liam Gallagher because I thought he would be a riot. That's it. Okay, we're nearly there. So if I was to go on a desert island for 12 months, and I could take one book, one movie, one TV series and one album with me, which would they be? The book has to be Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, who I mentioned before. If you haven't checked him out and you like reading autobiographies, and you like reading about people who have overcome certain things in their life and made changes to their life, and so it's a real motivational read, and it really makes you think, but it is somebody's life story. It's not just a motivational a self-help type book, but it really does help gain, it really does make you think. So yeah, that would be for me. A TV series would either have to be Sex and the City or Friends, because my reasoning on this is if you're there for 12 months, it's got to be something you can watch over and over, and both of those are ones that if they happen to just come onto TV, doesn't matter which episode, I can watch it, and I can watch it over and over. So yeah, Friends, Sex and the City. And I had to choose one of them. Which one would I choose? I love Friends so much, and Ross makes me laugh so much. But then Sex and the City, you get your fix of shoes and bags and that bit of luxury. Oh, Sex and the City, let's go with that. Album, George Michael, obviously. And I think I'd probably choose Older, even though it's actually quite a melancholy album, and I might not want to feel like that on a desert island, but it's my favourite album of all time, so it has to be that. A movie, if my daughters watch this, they're gonna know. Well, it was one of two, so again, you can judge me all you want on this one. It was going to be Jaws, but I thought that Jaws, because that has such a formative effect on me when I was 7. Yeah, but then if I was on a desert island, I'd never go in the sea. So I just thought, I can't do Jaws. So it has to be Rocky. And I don't know if anyone's going to just laugh at this or not, but again, Rocky, the first 4, after that I didn't really enjoy them because I know they went on further. But the first 4 for me all were through my childhood, and again they helped me get through my childhood, and I love all the training stuff. There's obviously something in me, I've never done any training until the last few years, but there's obviously something in me that loved that as a child. I love boxing, I love not necessarily boxing matches, but I love boxing training, and yeah, there's something about the training scenes in Rocky films. I just love it. It's nonsense, isn't it? But it, I'm sure some people will be thinking of some comedies to keep them going while they're on the desert island, or some people will be thinking of a real poignant film, and I go for Rocky. I don't know. If I had to choose one of the Rockies, oh, it's difficult. Rocky 4. Watch him training in the barn in Russia. Enough said. Goodness me. And then, if heaven exists, what God would say, what you would want God to say at the pearly gates to you. And yeah, I would want God to say to me, your Grandma Lily is waiting for you. That's it. So yeah, ending on a very emotional note. So yeah, thank you so much to Meredith for including me in this. It's been really fun. I'm sure you'll laugh at some of my answers, and yeah, I'll try and edit this down because I've been waffling on for about an hour, and nobody wants to listen to an hour video, do they? Watch an hour video. So yeah, I'm going to go and edit this now and try and get this out. Thank you so much, Meredith. And also, I've seen pop up on my screen this morning that Connor and Dale have both done this video already, so I'm going to watch both of you right now. So thanks again, thanks for watching, and I might see you on another one.